All right, good morning and hey there, my name is Russ Lagan, Vice President of Growth for eXp Realty. You are watching the Big Agent Meeting because it's 11 o'clock on Friday and it is May 30th. Guys, June is right around the corner. Your last month of the first half is coming up in like next week. So May 30th is going to be the day to remember because today's when we're launching the second half of your year because the stuff you do over the next 30 days gets you set up for July, August, September, October. So as we go through today, we've got a great show lined up for you. We got Kendall Bonner's going to be talking about a new CRM announcement that you guys are going to want to hear and get details on. And then, of course, we got Leo Pareja. He's doing a quick interview with one of our top producers out of Canada. It's going to be a fantastic, quick, short interview that you're going to want to see. And then the one and only Brian Ellington is going to be having a conversation with Renee Funk. By the way, guys, open houses still work if you do them certain ways in many markets. So Renee Funk is going to be talking about how she does an open house at the next level. You're going to want to watch that because if you need to incorporate something in your business to get people flowing in, now's the time to do it. All right, so to kick off today, I want to start off with our Market Minute, talking about what's going on in the market. I've given you guys a couple of these already, but I want to remind you of this couple of things that I've been seeing lately. And I want to kind of make sure we talk through it so it sinks in your brain. So if you missed it the first time I talked about this, you got to know this information. On the buy side here, guys, you like my stick figure bar graphs? Here we go. In 2020, 9% of people when surveyed said they were intending to buy a house this year. In 2023, 10% of people said they were intending to buy a house this year. 2025, the beginning of this year, 15% of people said, I want to buy a house this year. So the demand and drive to want to buy a house has actually gone up at the beginning of this year. Now, a lot of people will say, Russ, you got to be paying attention to the times. People are becoming more and more fearful as this year is going on. And absolutely, that's correct. So let's just say it's not 15, it only is 10. It's still the same as some of the years that we consider good years. So even if this year isn't 15%, which they actually want to roll, and it actually drops down to 10% if you surveyed now, that's still at the same level of 2020 and 2023. So desire to buy is still on average normal right now. It's below what it started out the year at right now because it's dropped down a little, but it's still dropped down to a number that would be considered a normal year. So I want you guys to understand the mindset of how you see stuff in the market and how you digest information in the market and who's coloring the information in the market is super important. The other piece of information that I know is accurate because it just came out recently, currently recent information, is 2022, 15% of people said that they used the same realtor a second time to do a deal, either buying or selling. In 2023, 11% of people said, I use the same realtor that I had before. In 2024, only 8% of people used the same realtor. So what that says to me, a lot of people say, well, Russ, our people aren't loyal. What I'm seeing is like, yeah, they're not loyal. And the reason they're not loyal is because if you ask some of these people who their last realtor was, they don't remember their name. Did you like doing business with them? The answer is yes. What's their name? I don't remember. So when you're going through these conversations, guys, one of the things that we have as opportunity is asking the question, if you could buy right now and find something that made sense, would you buy? And if the answer is yes, boom, let's rock, ready to rock and roll. Asking that question, you're probably more likely to get a yes than you would think right now based on the way the market feels in a lot of markets. So ask the question. You might be surprised how many times you get a yes. And then the second thing is you got to stay in touch with your past people. So if you don't have a systematic way of following up with your past people, you're going to constantly have struggles having to get new people. And by the way, guys, that means 92% of the people that did a deal didn't do it with you. So you got to start leveraging these moments and start saying, well, if that's the case, then I got to make sure I'm staying top of mind. Not look at me, I'm a realtor. Keep adding value over and over and over. Make sure they're telling them what's going on in the market. Make sure you're sending them something like, by the way, right now, if I got something that said, hey, here's 5 things you need to do. Weather got warm in Michigan. Here's 5 things you should look at in your house. One of them is make sure you clean the crap out of the gutters that fell from the spring because you got all this stuff flying off. I need to clean my gutters out. Some people need to have that list. Or, by the way, here's a gutter guy that can blow out the gutters for you. He costs $50 to blow out your gutters fast for you. Those types of things can help you stay connected. So when that person does decide to do a deal, they're calling you again. They've already done business with you once. They would do business with you again most of the time if they remembered who you were and you stay top of mind. So just because they just did a transaction doesn't mean you don't stay top of mind. Can't tell you how many sales I had in the past where a person bought a house and within a year ends up selling the house because something changed, life changed, world changed, business changed. So always stay top of mind by adding value. Here's something for you, not please give something to me like a panhandler. Here's something for you that'll help you take your business to the next level. I want to see that number go through the roof. And that's on us as agents to become the person that is followable, number one, and also that people are easily able to access and remember who their person was. All right, so there's your market minute for today. Hey, coming up next, we've got Ian Wheatley. By the way, Ian Wheatley, great job sub-hosting for the Big Agent meeting last week. Thank you for subbing for me. I was in Dallas with our top leadership group talking through really cool stuff and AI stuff for you guys. And Ian, you did a great job subbing for me. I love it. We're going to have to keep you on the backup sub list from now on. So Ian Wheatley, KGCI Radio, take it away.
Hey there, thanks for checking in during the Big Agent meeting. Just a reminder, this is also streaming right now on KGCI Real Estate On Air. If you've been telling yourself, I should probably be using AI, but I haven't actually done anything with it yet, you're not alone. Because the truth is, most agents aren't avoiding AI because they're lazy. They're avoiding it because it's overwhelming. Too many tools, too many features, and every coach, vendor, and app screaming that their platform is the one. So what happens? Agents burn time testing tech instead of using it. They build half-finished systems that don't save them any time, just create more work. And they never get to the part where AI actually makes their life easier. That's why this week's Friday Focus is all about the AI tools that save agents hours every week. It starts off with a conversation that I had with Carrie Sove back on Tuesday on Real Estate On Air Live. You've seen her on the stage at EXPCon. She's a top producer, EXP Elevate coach, and an AI strategist. And we walk through exactly how she's helping agents build real-time AI workflows that save time without losing that human touch. And we're not talking about theory. We're talking about the tools that are already working inside of real estate businesses, just like yours. So you can catch that full episode plus 6 hours of insights from other AI experts and mega producers so you don't fall behind. If you've been overwhelmed by AI, this is the Friday Focus that brings it all back under control. Scan the QR code right now, download our app, and listen live or on demand to KGCI Real Estate On Air.
All right, there you go. Ian Wheatley, thank you very much, KGCI Radio. And again, thanks for being sub-host last week. Thank you so much for taking care of that for me so I can have the freedom to stay in Dallas instead of having to fly home early. All right, so next up, guys, you want to hear something interesting? Check this out. CRM of choice. You want to know what that's about? That's about something Kendall Bonner is going to tell you all about. One of my favorite people. It was great to see you last week, Kendall Bonner, in Dallas. And I'm looking forward to hearing you talk about CRM of choice. Take it away.
Good morning, EXP family. Let's go ahead and call this what it is, a game changer. Now, we're not just talking about tech. We're talking about control. We're talking about choice. We're talking about you designing the business you want and us at EXP giving you the tools to win. So here it is. After years of hearing your feedback, after listening to what you need, not just from a CRM perspective, but from your brokerage, I'm thrilled to introduce the official launch of CRM of Choice. Yay! So what is CRM of Choice? Well, this is not your typical one-size-fits-all world, right? We know that you are not cookie-cutter agents, and we are not a cookie-cutter brokerage. CRM of Choice gives you access to not one, not two, but 3 powerful CRMs, fully integrated, all included in your tech fee. And you get to pick which one works best for you and your business. You'll get to choose from Bold Trail, which is a reimagined KV Core. You get to choose from Lofty, which is formerly known as Chime. And then, of course, there's Close, your AI-driven relationship engine. But let me break these down for you really quick. What makes each CRM special? Well, Bold Trail, it's the power you knew from KV Core with so much more. You know, there's more conversations, more opportunities. Basically, they want you to have more wins. So there's more power for you. Bold Trail is now your complete toolkit for building and scaling a thriving real estate business. And then we have Lofty. Lofty is your all-in-one marketing and lead gen machine. You know, think IDX websites, AI assistants, smart plans, social studio, mobile app, even transaction tools, all bundled with a gorgeous design and full team support. And then last but not least, Close. Close is built for relationship first agents. You know, it auto logs your calls, your emails, and your texts, all using your own phone number. So it's AI that tells you when to follow up, helps you reconnect, and even can help you write your emails. Best in class mobile experience. And guess what? It's got a deep Canva integration. Yes, please, right? So why might you choose one over the other? Well, I'm going to give you this quick tip. If you love websites, want robust lead gen, and you're already familiar with KV Core, Bold Trail is your next evolution. If you want an all-in-one platform with everything from AI texting to social media studio, Lofty is for you. And if your business thrives on referrals, long-term relationships, and you want AI to handle all the busy work, Close is calling your name. So how does all of this work? Well, today, the wait list is open. You can start exploring, doing demos, and deciding. Basically, you know, we've got a toolkit for you. And in that toolkit, we've got side-by-side comparisons and answers to all of your questions. On July 1st is the official launch. Tune in on Monday and Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern for Close, 1 p.m. Eastern for Lofty, and 2 p.m. Eastern for Bold Trail. All of this is starting on Monday, June 2nd, streaming live in eXp World and on eXp University's YouTube channel as well. So one of your questions that you might be asking is, well, what if I make a selection? Can I change my mind? Well, I'm here to tell you, once you make that selection, you are committed to your choice for 12 months, unless you meet an exception, which is you're joining a team or leaving a team. Then you can switch one time during that 12-month cycle. Otherwise, you have to wait till your cycle renews in 12 months, and then you can make a different selection at that time. Well, you might also be asking, what if I don't want a CRM, right? No problem. If you've never used KV Core before, nothing changes. You don't get assigned one until you opt in. And if you are an inactive user, your account might be closed, but you can opt back in to any CRM whenever you're ready. You can also choose to opt out of the CRM of choice program, but listen, don't worry. I have some options and opportunities coming for you soon. Now, how does this work for teams? If you're a team leader or team member, you might be asking, how does this apply to us? How does this work for teams? Well, team leaders will pick the CRM, and all team members must opt into the same platform to stay connected. Otherwise, you should expect disruption in lead routing, website access, and more. In other words, you only get access to one CRM of choice option at this time. So, what are the agent terms and conditions? You might see that floating around. Well, when you opt in, you're agreeing to that 12-month commitment. So if you ever leave XP, you'll lose your access. And you'll also have a few days after your CRM shuts down to download your data. But I recommend that you take care of that before you shut down your CRM, right? Or you make a new selection. And if you want to add your assistant, right? For those of you with admin assistants, you will need to basically, they will count as users and they will have their own logins as well as their own agreement to sign, whether they're licensed or unlicensed. So if you have an admin assistant, you want to get them plugged in because they are going to be behind single sign-on, and we have some other bells and whistles and features for them as well. See Expert Care for more information. Now, what if you're an international agent? Or what if are these CRMs offered in other languages? That might be a burning question that you have as well. Well, CRM of choice is currently available in US and Canada and coming very soon to Puerto Rico. Language translation is underway. We'll have French for Quebec in Lofty's roadmap. We also have Close, which already supports multilingual marketing and is also available in French, Spanish, Italian, Dutch, and German. It's as simple as a setting in the app. And hey, for my Canadian friends, it's in Quebec French, not just France French. So we got you there. And then where do you go if you want help? Well, again, I just want to remind you, trainings are starting on Monday and Wednesday, and they'll be back-to-back in eXp World and on YouTube starting at 12 p.m. Eastern until 3 p.m. Eastern, about an hour each for each training and demo, where you can ask questions, and then you can also watch the recordings at a later date, right? So please tune in for that before you make your decision. And then next, with regards to support and resources, you've got some new best friends. That's Expert Care. In fact, our expert care desk is generally available 24/7 for US and Canadian agents. So you can definitely go there. They've already been updated on this process and they are here to support you. Next, we have the CRM of Choice Toolkit, also available 24/7, where you can click on some links, learn more, and get all the information that you need, comparing all of your available choices. And then, of course, you have EXP University, where we have live and curated on-demand training on YouTube and in the EXP world. And then plus, each CRM has its own support team. They have their own chat as well as dedicated email queues. So basically, I just want you to know, listen, we're the first brokerage in the industry to do this at this scale with this level of customization. And we're doing it because you deserve a system that works the way you work. So let me ask you this. Are you ready to choose a CRM that will help you close more deals, serve more clients, and build the business of your dreams? All right, then that's what I thought. Let's grow, because EXP is where the pros go to grow.
All right, there you go. Guys, I know when this was rolled out in front of some people last week, they got super excited about CRM of choice. So thank you, Kendall, for that. Thank you for the information and the details. And guys, this is going to continue developing and keep getting better and better. So stay tuned and keep your eyes open so you'll know when the time is for you to be able to help make this shift and make that choice yourself. All right, next up, we have the one and only CEO of EXP, Leo Pareja, interviewing one of our top producers out of Canada. Take it away, Leo.
So I'm very excited to have a conversation with Shannon, who crushed it in 2024 out of Canada. And I love stories like Shannon's because I think so many times in real estate, we idolize our teams, right? And as much as I'm very close to Justin and Katrina and Ibrahim and Jennifer Jones and our top producing Canadian teams, the solo agents, that do this level of performance, a lot of times have some of the highest net businesses that we have in real estate. And, you know, the numbers you've done in 2024, you closed over 125 transactions, and that's down from 180 in the peak of 2021 of the go-go days of real estate. So before you tell me about how you do that, I'd love for you to give us a little backstory of how you ended up in real estate, because this is a second career for you, Shannon.
Okay. Well, I worked as a registered nurse for almost 30 years. I was a worker, and how it works in our health system, if you're a worker, they just give you more. And I just hit a wall in 2012. I was burning out. I was tired. I was managing. I was a director within our system. I had 4 unions, 80 employees, dealt with doctors, and I just hit a wall. And I just realized life is short and I shouldn't work that hard. And I'd always been interested in real estate. So I took the leap and gave notice to my health association, gave them 6 months notice, took the courses, got my license July 1st, and I really haven't looked back. So when I jumped into real estate, people already knew me. Because I had worked in so many areas in health, and I'm in a small rural community, 18,000. And then my previous health job took me to the larger region around me. So people knew I was a worker and that I was honest, very straightforward. I'm a straight shooter. I don't blow much smoke. So yeah, it just took off, and I love what I do. I love people. There's a lot of.
So what was your first full year in the business, Shannon?
Started July 2012, so 2013.
And so what was that career path look like from 2013 to 2021, your best year ever? Give me the
well, my first 8 years were with Century 21. Mm-hmm. And didn't take long, and I just worked hard, and I obtained double Centurion awards, which are their highest level of awards. Was number 1 in the province for a few years. So it took off fairly quick. I just worked and worked and worked.
And so first year, was it like 12 transactions, 20 transactions?
Oh,
roughly.
First year is your slowest year, maybe 20. And then, then it would get 60, 80, 100. That was quite, yeah. I've usually been around 100.
For context, our average Canadian agent in 2024 sold 7.4 homes. So you still did almost 3 times our average on your first year, and then kind of went to 10x the average. I think a lot of agents who listen to your story will probably be like, okay, how? But how? Is there a kind of a process, a system, a ritual where you protect activity on a daily basis? What are the non-negotiable things that Shannon does every day?
Well, I get up in the morning, and I think like every agent, we check our phones. and we're checking MLS. We're constantly on the system, correct? I've always been consistent, even from day one, with advertising. I've done a fair bit of advertising in my city. There's one billboard I've been on for 12 years. I should have bought the thing for what it cost me.
Would they sell it to you, though? Because that's the beauty of billboards. Most of the time, they won't sell them to you.
Yeah. And like sometimes I have little kids coming to me because they know me from the billboard. It's like subliminal messaging. It's just there. And like, because we're a small city, it's kind of in the middle of the city. So you see it all the time. Constantly out, whenever I'm with people, I never push real estate. I let them bring it up to me. I'm never pushy. People approach me. I'm also very, I guess it's my nursing background. I've always given back to my community. So I give thousands of dollars every year to certain areas in the community, mental health, addiction, our abilities council, the food bank, that kind of thing. So I'm very active that way. And I'm just a people person. If I'm at the hockey rink or the Ball Diamonds or whatever, people know me and they trust me, and they'll just say, well, we see your signs everywhere, so we call you. I don't think I really do anything special, to be honest. I'm not special. Well,
I would argue that most people who are high performers aren't. They're just consistent, right? I don't think special's I think an excuse for folks that don't want to do the hard work. One of my favorite sentences: "It's simple but not easy." Right? That's a pretty big distinction.
It's a lot of work, and I mean, in the beginning, early years, you work all the time, and I had a hard time with boundaries. I'm getting better with boundaries, but let's face it, in this world where it's instant gratification, you've got to answer that text. You can't delay in answering a text for 2-3 hours, or they're going to move on. So I was always very responsive, follow up. I have a lot of repeat clients. My clients stay with me long after possession or the sale. I'm still in contact. I'm still supporting them. They phone me all the time. Shannon, you got a contractor, you got a painter, you've got a housekeeper, house cleaner, that kind of thing. So I keep, those channels are always open. As far as technology, because I'm older, I'm not the most savvy. Would you believe I'm working on my website now? 12 years in, I'm finally doing my own website. When AI first came out, quite honestly, I thought they were talking artificial insemination because I was a nurse. I didn't have a clue what they talked about. And now I love AI. I use it all the time. But I'm not real techie. Techie has probably been my biggest challenge, is this social media, and yet it's such a big part of our business. People want that. That's my biggest challenge.
And are you concentrated on listings versus buyers? Do you take them both? Do you just come as they go, or have you focused on one over the other?
I take them both. I prefer listings. Of course, I think everybody does. But no, I'll work with just about anybody. I mean, I'm a little more selective now. Like, if you just intuitively know which listings are going to be painful, and sometimes I just refer those out. I don't do a lot of the rural listings anymore. I just refer them out to somebody on our local team. Yeah.
And what would you say is a lesson learned? Because you sell in a town of 18,000 people, and roughly by the number of sales that happened in your city, you almost did half of the transactions yourself. That's there's only one other agent I've seen with that kind of market share, and it was also in a smaller secondary market. But that's incredible capture. What do you attribute to that?
I would say consistency and integrity. You just got to be consistent in what you do, keep at it, and deliver. Like, always be there for people. But also now being older, 13 years into my career, I'm not, I could probably use a little counseling on boundaries, quite honestly. But yeah, you got to work hard. You got to be responsive, and you got to keep investing in your business, advertising, supporting local. You've got to, it's all about meeting people. Like, my daughter played hockey. We were always at the rink. You don't know how many listings I got from being at the rink because people knew me. And I'm also a very stats type person. So you ask me a question about the market, I can tell you the benchmark price. I can tell you, I know my market. And I think that's good for people to know, to have confidence that you know what you're talking about.
I think that's a super, super important part of it that I think is underappreciated, right? That is such a powerful differentiator, right? I think what people are attracted to with real estate agents is competence and confidence, right?
Yes.
And knowing your market, I think, gives you both, right? It translates into confidence because they know what they're talking about, and competence because they know what's going on.
And another thing I've learned over the years is, and this comes from my nursing background, if you don't know something, be honest up front. If you make a mistake, because we've all made mistakes, we've all made errors, acknowledge it and own it. And through the years, I have so many contacts in the city. I can phone so many different lawyers and say, okay, I'm in this type of situation with this deal. What do you recommend? And I think it's important to build those supports so that you never feel you're alone. Reach out to your brokers. We've got 2 fabulous brokers here that I can reach out to. And that, to me, was the beauty of EXP. I'm very independent, like to work alone, but I've got this bigger team that's all around me and all this technology, and it's just right there at your fingertips.
Amazing. That's what I love hearing. That's what I appreciate, delivering that idea. And, you know, I think our Canadian agents like how fast we pay you guys, right? Like the average check to be fulfilled in Canada somewhere between 10 and 14 days at the other houses, the other brokerage houses, and versus we do it almost instantly.
Oh, yeah. Like, I had a possession yesterday. I wake up in the morning and it's EXP saying, do you have key release? If you have key release, you just reply all back, yes. And I oftentimes am paid by the end of the day. No, I have no, EXP has been just amazing to me, the support. They're always looking to the future. And there's so many resources. It's almost overwhelming sometimes, the resources that are there.
Well, Shannon, if you were to say where your career is going in 2 or 3 years from now, what are some accomplishments that if we were sitting here together 3 years from now, you would say that worked, we won, that was amazing, that was pretty cool, whichever one of those resonate with you?
Oh, I'd say 3 years from now, that I figured it out, that I figured out my boundaries for my work-life balance, that I built my business. I like to mentor like the local agents that are on the team. I like to mentor them. I'm usually a resource for them. They can call me anytime. I would hope that I'm still at it in 3 years. Maybe not so hard, but I love real estate. I think it's just something that's in my blood. I think even if my numbers aren't what they are today, I'll be happy with whatever I end up with. I just enjoy doing it.
Well, I love hearing the stories. And again, your production is so out of the ordinary, right? Like touching 100 units is unheard of, and you go right past that. So continue being a leader by example, and we're proud to be in business with you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to chat with you.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Leo. I do appreciate that. And thank you, Shannon Runcie. Great information, great 12-minute interview packed with good stuff. Thank you very much for that. All right, next up, Brian Ellington, the Chief Learning Officer of EXP, has an interview with Renee Funk talking about open houses. Brian, take it away, buddy.
Would you like to share a little bit about yourself, how you got to this weird, wild journey of becoming Renee Funk, an all-star rock star at open houses?
Oh my goodness. Renee Funk, team leader of the Funk Collection, brokered by eXp Realty in Orlando, Florida, specifically rooted in the hometown of Windermere, Florida. I like to joke and lovingly remind people that Windermere is the first town north of Magic Kingdom. From my house, I hear Walt Disney's train. Proud eXp Realty team leader for almost 8 years and a real estate agent for many years. I worked together with my favorite agent, Jeffrey G. Funk. He's my husband, and we've worked together over 20 years. How did I land on a passion of open houses? Like many things in the real estate industry, we can find ourselves in a room of real estate agents that may be naysayers to if a lead generation opportunity works or not. And certainly, Brian, you and I could probably throw a dart in a lot of different directions and find an agent that will tell other agents open houses don't work.
Yeah, they're for newbies.
Right. However, when open houses with some thoughtful thought and attention to detail, and what I call work before the work are done, open houses can absolutely change the trajectory of an agent's business. And in most cases, with very little money that would need to be spent, right? It's sweat equity, time equity, but not necessarily going out to have to buy leads and do other things in our business that cost us money.
Yeah, well said. Well, let me start then with, fix that camera. Let me start then with just a simple question, but maybe complex. What's your goal of doing an open house? Are you doing it to appease the seller? Is it part of your broader geographic farm domination strategy? What are you trying to do when you do an open house?
It's such a good baseline context provider for any agent, right? If you look at the NAR statistics, NAR stat says 2% of listings actually sell as a direct result of an open house. Well, if that number is actual, right, reported by NAR, would anybody really want to do an open house? The intention agents give to why host open houses effectively is so critically important. Number one is effective hosted open houses can do a couple things. Build your brand, continue to root your brand in the community. Think about open houses as furthering your community connection as the ambassador of your town. You, of course, can drive exposure to the subject property, right? Exposure to the listing is key. Yes, you can do that, and it should. A properly hosted open house should drive a lot of attention to the subject property. Third lane of opportunity that's often overlooked is agents not understanding that there's 4 visitor types that visit every open house that are an opportunity for agents to drive business through. And the one visitor type that's mostly overlooked and often dismissed by agents is a community connector. And what that means is, Brian, have you ever heard an agent say like looky-loo or tire kicker?
Nosy neighbor. Nosy neighbor. Yeah.
We have a simple swap for that, and that's called community connector. There's a specific approach that agents who host open houses effectively can take to recognize who the community connectors are that are visiting and to earn and build a stronger relationship, which helps agents build their database and gain more business.
There you go. Well, so then can we talk process? And I'm going to do exactly what you tell me to do at our next open house. So I'm going to slow you down and I'm going to ask a lot of detailed questions. Apologies in advance. So first off, are we holding our listing open or are we holding somebody else's listings open?
The answer is yes. If you're a listing agent and you're wanting to continue to grow and scale your business and you're at that phase of your business, by all means, host open houses. Just do them with intention and understand who you're seeking to serve and who you're seeking to draw in to the open house. If you're an agent, maybe you're a new agent, maybe you're a rising up agent, you've had your license a couple years and you're still gaining your footing to truly building your database. Host on behalf of other agents. The answer is yes. Differences are you may approach the way you facilitate an open house a little bit differently if you're a host on behalf of as compared to the listing agent hosting for your own listing.
Now, either as an agent asking another agent, or you may have had agents ask you, well, what's the right approach to go ask another agent about holding their house open?
So you're an agent who is seeking to host for other agents. Number
Yeah.
one is take a moment to slow the process down to speed up the outcome. Take a moment to get yourself collected with the value proposition you'll provide the listing agent, so the listing agent can be confident that the house will be held open as an open house appropriately. And what do I mean by that? Make sure you have your signs in order. Make sure that you have examples that you will show the listing agent, I do the following marketing, and list out some of the ways that you do marketing. Show the agent that you have some thoughtful thought to sign placement optimization, right? The number of signs, thinking about all the things that you do differently as a prospective host will not only increase the confidence level that listing agent has to partner with you, but also position the listing agent in a huge win opportunity so that their seller can say, wow, your entire team at eXp Realty really knocked it out of the park. If you're a host agent, think of yourself, even if in that moment, as a team member, all with a common goal: gain exposure to the brand, drive traffic to the listing, and continue to grow your database.
Okay. Now, so once we have a listing, ours or somebody else's, to host open, how far back are we starting? Is this a couple of days, a week, 2 weeks?
I love this question, Brian. Oh my goodness. Could we get everybody who watches this recording to raise their right hand and promise we're not going to be the agent that decides on Friday at 5 o'clock to host tomorrow morning on Saturday morning, and just, maybe quickly throw it together? It's one of the agents that do that. It's one of the biggest reasons why some agents say open houses aren't effective.
Yeah.
Giving yourself the time to initiate the marketing process, if you're hosting on a Saturday, around that Tuesday mark is critical. And we can, of course, Brian, you might ask some of the marketing tips. We can get into that. Agents often decide at the last minute. I've had agents reach out on the morning of and say, hey, I'm going to throw together an open house. Are there some strategies to be able to pull that off? Yes. Is that the overall best strategy to approach to gain maximum exposure? Absolutely not. Usually starting around Tuesday is going to be your best approach.
Okay. And when you say starting on Tuesday, so we probably had the conversation with the listing agent or with the seller beforehand. Yeah. Yep. How far back are we having that conversation?
As a listing agent to the property, the open house conversation is shared at the listing consultation. That's a part of the marketing proposition of here's the things that we do. And it doesn't matter what type of market condition you're in. If you are still in a rapid market where you list on a Thursday, and in many cases you're entertaining offers within a couple of days, or maybe you're in a market where the average days on market is growing, either way, talk about it with the seller in that moment. And then you can already be in motion. So when you activate the listing on the day that listing activates to the public, that open house can also start the activation from a marketing standpoint. So listing agent, go find your partner agents ASAP as soon as you need to have that in motion. Those who host open houses, make yourself well known among your brokerage. Like, go into, if you're an eXp agent, go into workplace, say, here's some of the things I do to knock it out of the park with open houses, and start bridging those relationships, because you can't start marketing too soon. Brian, can we talk for a second? It's one of the most common questions I get asked as a trainer on open houses is, when is the best time to host an open house?
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So if we're starting on Tuesday, when is the open house?
Right. And I'll have agents ask, is it Saturday? Is it Sunday? Is it 2 hours? Is it 4 hours? What is it?
Yeah.
See, the fact that we ask the question is the win. Open houses traditionally in the industry are thought to be on weekends. And so as a broad paint stroke, we can be rest assured weekend traffic can be ideal. However, important for agents to think outside of the box. The location to the subject property is what is key. So here's an example. I'm in Windermere, Florida, beautiful downtown area. Every Friday there's a farmer's market during the day, Friday, from around 11 till about 3 in the afternoon. Now, when there's a downtown Windermere listing, might it behoove us as a listing agent to strategize on that traffic pattern and say, you know what? There's a massive high demand farmers market that goes on Friday. Where permitted, check your local regulations for signs and all the things. Just imagine we host the open house on a Friday in the middle of the day to maximize the exposure and gain that foot traffic. I encourage agents to think, what other traffic patterns should we be considering before we just assume Saturday from 11 to 3 is the best time? One more example on that is if you have food truck Fridays or you have an event at night, maybe the property, again, I'm in Orlando, the property may have a beautiful fireworks view of Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
Would it be possible we strategize on, hey, let's host an open house and invite the neighborhood to see the awesomeness that exists during a different time period? Nudge here is don't just fall suit Saturday and Sunday. Think specifically to the lifestyle that the next owner will acquire by being in this home and maximize any traffic patterns that might exist around the property.
Okay. Now, in the absence of those types of things, and there's probably quite a bit of those, more than most people might think around a particular neighborhood, especially. But in the absence of those, when would you be hosting it? And is it just one day out of that weekend?
It depends on the agent and the seller. Is traditionally in the industry, we know Saturdays and Sundays, midday can be a great day. And if you have a seller as a listing agent that will allow you to host it, if you go live on Thursdays, for example, many listing agents have a certain day they go live, they activate a listing. Here in Orlando, we activate on Thursdays. It could be a really good strategy from a marketing standpoint. Activate Thursday, pre-plan out Saturday and Sunday open houses, drive traffic for the weekend, and position the seller with the most optimum exposure for that entire weekend. The answer lies more in what's the true goal from the agent. Is it the listing agent hosting it? And I know that we want to say always do Saturday and Sundays, though more times than not, you can also dig into traffic patterns. I'll encourage you to even think about where bus stops are, where, is there traffic during school pickup? Things of that nature make such a difference. One other piece, and I call this an open house scheduling pro tip.
Okay.
When you have a vacant listing, so you have a seller, they've already vacated the property. As a listing agent, it never hurts to ask that seller, would you be open-minded to leaving on the Wi-Fi? Now, you might ask, what does that have to do with an open house? One of the best strategies agents have done for a number of years when the seller will leave that Wi-Fi on is host an open house every single day. Treat it like your remote office. Host it open as many days as you can, right? And just keep it going. I've heard other things. If you don't have Wi-Fi on, no big deal. Use your hotspot. Just think of it as this is the office I'm going to go to every day. Hold it open, make sure it's in the MLS so it's syndicating out, and turn that into a great opportunity for you to be present every single day.
Final thoughts. What didn't I ask you about an open house that's really important for an agent to understand to make it the most impactful, effective form of lead generation that they can?
You and I haven't gone into the post-open house strategies, and it is where most agents really have the wheels fall off the bus. The day of the open house, it's critical for agents to have the intention and set the time block. If your open house is on Sunday, set the time block for Monday morning. Give yourself 20 minutes and title that calendar event as open house follow-up. Give yourself the gift to say, I committed to do all the work that led to a successful open house. I'm going to commit to compound my efforts and be thoughtful that I will follow through. The number of times that I've talked to agents throughout the industry and they say, I hosted an open house, and I say, fantastic. How many visitors? 27. How many people in your database? 2. Where were the other 25? Oh, they weren't buying. Yeah. Okay. Of the 2, did you have a conversation with them on Monday morning from the open house on Sunday? No, I'll call them in a week. Okay, don't worry. Another agent will call them. If you're not calling them, don't worry. They'll be on a portal and 55,000 agents will call them. Give yourself the time to time block that. Morning of the open house, go into the next day and say, here's my 20 minutes. I'm committing to myself and my family to compound the effort it took to create the open house, to do the calls, to send the text messages, to make sure you've crossed T's, dotted I's, sent market updates, send new listings that hit the market, send items of value. There's a whole hour and a half training class I do on post open house, Brian. We can talk about that another day. It is critical to not miss what happens after the open house to compound efforts.
I love that. Thank you for doing this. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
This is fun.
I'm Jessie Gilbert here, your account director, calling in from Zenlist. I'm joined by Kim and Marianne. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and then we'll get right into things.
Awesome. Thanks, Jessie. Hi, my name is Kim Lally Holmes. I am with the Holmes Glorioso Home Group based here in Baltimore, Maryland. Been in real estate since 2012 and with EXP since 2020. Really excited to share and be here talking about Zenlist today.
And I am Marianne Mayer. I'm on Kim's team. I am also in Baltimore. I have been an agent since 2019, and I've been with EXP since 2022. Also very excited to share because we love Zenlist. So
I love to hear it. So talk to me about your experience on Zenlist. What do you guys want to share with everyone here? How are you using it? Where do we want to kick things off?
Kim, I think you're the one that found it, right? Like I want.
Yeah, I think it was because of EXP. We were talking about this, like how this came about, and I think it was because of EXP making it known. And we were previously using a different tool that is no longer available or became unavailable to us. And we were kind of like, oh my gosh, like what do we do? And so we were really curious. We actually hopped on a Zoom with Jessie, which was amazing, and kind of got a great overview of how it works. There's an app and there's a web, like a browser version. So we got an overview of everything, and I truly never looked back. Like I probably used it every day since then. So it's just been a really powerful tool for us to share with our clients. And I mean, even if we're just talking about listings within our team, like any links that we're sharing back and forth, it's always a Zenlist link.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'll jump on that too, because we were really struggling because like Kim said, we had another app that was really helpful, especially mobile friendly, right? We're out on the field, in the field all the time. And we were having to go into MLS and email ourselves links to send to our clients. And it was just getting very sluggish. And we were very excited when we Zoomed with you, Jessie.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember that call and I remember you guys were talking about, well, can you do this? Can you do that? And just like the excitement around the conference table. Being able to search for like properties across the street from where you're standing, or to be able to pull up an address and things, those really simple things that I think a lot of people take for granted. And then when you lose it, you're like, gosh, none of these other apps are cutting it. None of these other tools are really meeting the needs that I have, or the needs that I lost in that. So what other tools, Kim, you said you use it daily. What are the things you're using on a regular basis in your day-to-day workflows?
Yeah. Okay. So definitely so much. I mean, I would say most of all, it's the search functionality with our buyer clients. So, collaborative search tool with them to be able to set up a search and share it with them, but then they can also search, how they want to and look at different things. And then there's a built-in chat feature, which is really great. So, instead of the buyer then having to like take a link and text it to me or text the address, if they want to, they can just chat right in the app. And some people do and some people don't. And, like anything, we're adaptable about it. But I think them just having that ability is it's huge and seems so simple, but just makes our life easier and their life easier. I'll save the tour one for you, Marianne, because I know you love it, but the tour one is so good. Another one too that we've found to be really helpful. So we have a team, as you can tell. And so, generally each of us as agents, we're working with particular clients. And then if someone's on vacation or something and another agent is helping to cover or, work with a particular buyer or buyers in their absence, that agent can be added as well to that client search, and then be able to see everything that like the primary agent was seeing and doing, and the chat and the messages. And I think from a client experience perspective, like, yes, it makes our agent lives easier. But from the client's perspective, it's like, oh, this is just the agent. This is just the team. You know, there's not well, I need to tell this to Marianne because Kim's not here. But the seamlessness of that is really fantastic too. So those are a couple favorites. I could keep going, but I'll stop.
Marianne, tell us about tours.
Yeah, so Kim covered a lot. Obviously, we all love the same things. But I'll say kind of two of my big ones are the tours, because we use Showing Time to book our showings, and I love that you can book through Showing Time directly from Zenlist. Like, it's not like we need to switch platforms or switch to a different app. But then just having that shared, like the collaborativeness between your client and the agent, so that you can have that tour. Like, I mean, before I was like screenshotting my Showing Time or like saving it as a PDF and sending it. So just, again, it's like clunky. But now that we have that tour that they can look at any time, we're jumping in the car and they're like, oh, okay, we're going here next. I've had multiple feedbacks from clients that are just so positive. They're like, oh, we love this tour feature. And I'm like, me too. And even when we're at, showing houses during, we're seeing 5 houses, that I can go to that tour and I don't have to search for the address again. I just pull it up and, view listing details. So it's all right there. And it just saves it. It makes it easier. It saves a little bit of time. It just makes everything so seamless. The second thing that I love is I have essentially replaced my link tree with my Zenlist profile. At open houses, I print out like a cute like Canva like big QR code, and I say like scan this. You can have access to the MLS. You can we can communicate, like all these perks, explaining to them like how easy it is and how accurate it is as compared to some other apps that they may be using. And people love that. So I think, and also just even if I meet a new client, or if I'm sharing, the fact that I can have my Google reviews in there, that I can have, sales that I've had, I can add in my Instagram. I do a lot with social media. So I can add my Instagram. I can add, I have like a free like buyer's guide, kind of like a lead magnet, and I can put that in there as a link. So everything is in that one spot, which I think is really valuable for me, being able to not just be like, oh, I'll send you this and I'll send you this. Like, it's all in that one place, and it there's a big benefit to them, and obviously a value add to me, that they can see all of that in one place.
Love that. Love that. So rapid fire, we've talked a lot about some things in Zenlist, and there's still a lot more built into it. So Kim, I'll kick it to you and then we'll go back to you, Marianne. What would be like your one piece of advice for someone who's listening this and is feeling overwhelmed or brand new and isn't quite sure the best way to get started? How would you recommend they get started without getting overwhelmed with new technology?
Oh, great question. I mean, download it. I think whatever you're more comfortable with, whether it's the app or the website, like get familiar with one first. They're very similar. They basically do the same thing, but it works great on either tool. So I think, and just start doing some searches, like just start using it for what you would need it for. And then you can add on all the other functionality later. Like, again, there's like you said, there's so much, but just one step at a time, sign up for it and start getting familiar, and then add on the rest later.
Yeah. What about you, Marianne?
I would say, I mean, obviously, I think, Kim, I feel like that's a great kind of like the first step. I mean, for me, I really highlight the feature and benefits to my clients. Like, obviously, once I've mastered how to use it, I explain to them, I'm like, listen, whatever other app or website you're looking on is kind of like a third party. Whereas this one really like is like a direct pull. Like, you have to be affiliated with an agent to access it. Like, so it's going to be the most accurate information, while also still being really user-friendly, like the other apps that they might be used to. And I think, any client that I've sent it to is like, oh, wow, this is great. Like they really like having that. So it's less about like the me in the situation, although we obviously benefit from it, but just sort of offering it as a benefit to my clients, and they see the value in that and they appreciate that.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for being here with us today. If you haven't signed up for your free account to EXP Access, you can do that at zenlist.com, or like Kim said, download the mobile app and sign up there. We'll send you trainings and recordings, and we can also help you get started if you need a Zoom call, like we mentioned, to help walk you through and guide you through everything. So thank you both for being here with me today. I really appreciate it, and we'll send it back to you guys.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Renee. Renee, you always have really good, actionable, tractionable things that people can put into their business. Guys, you have a recipe now to be able to knock it out of the park with open houses. So if your market hasn't seen a whole lot of open houses or haven't done it like that, you want to make sure you try to pull that out. You might find out your market actually responds well to doing open houses the way she's talking about doing them. So if you haven't done one in a while, give it a try. Some of the old stuff that's coming back is working great, and some of the stuff that we're doing in the old days isn't working great. So give it a try, test it out, see if your market is open to it. If you haven't done one in a while, give it a whirl, see what happens. So thank you very much, Renee and Brian. All right, there you go. Big agent meeting for May 30th. That's the big agent meeting. So before you guys go, NPS survey, if you can take your phone out, open up your camera and click that QR code. Let us know on a scale of 1 to 10 how we're doing. Let me know today if you like, this is my new bright orange tie. Let me know in the comments whether you like it or not. And give us a scale rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Let us know how we did. All right, that is Big Agent Meeting show for today. Stay tuned. Coming up next, iConversations. See you next week.